Start off with a login. Notice that there is a username and a password and the opportunity for two-factor authentication. We support both Google Authenticator and Microsoft Authenticator. Now, when you log into Stream, I've set my preferences up, so it's going to take me straight to the alarm map for my region. My region is going to be the Sheffield region. I've set up a small region here with a number of groups. Now, Stream, because this is a wide area SCADA interface, this covers a geographical area and it's built on Google Maps. So we've got the maps here. You can zoom in and out. You can drag the little yellow icon guy and it will pop up a street view. So if you're a technician in the field trying to find somewhere, if you're an operator trying to help somebody find something, you've actually got the power here to go through and use Google Maps to help people find those remote locations. So this front view for me sitting down here today, I'm looking at all the groups. So let's say that you're a concession holder and you've got multiple concessions that you're looking after. You might have them organized into groups. Your operators might be connected into related to a certain group or groups. So for the users, you can actually assign areas that they have responsibility over and they will not see data from other areas. So it focuses their attention on a specific area. Now we can see here on the legend, there's a red cross over Sheffield. There's a fault at Sheffield. We've got a problem there. Now we could go straight to Sheffield, but rather than go straight in, I'm just going to go to the Sheffield area. So I can click anywhere in this region and that will drill down into that specific region and show me the Sheffield area, the sites that are in and around Sheffield. And this is what a user would see if all they had view was just this first group. Now notice that this one, on this area, I've got the alarm banner at the bottom. I didn't have the alarm banner on the first group. That is an option. You can set Stream up to either have or not have the alarm banner, depending on how you or your customer wants to see their data. So here at Sheffield, we see that there's an alarm here. So this is the alarm view. There is actually a second way of looking at each of the sites. So under the maps, we can look at these. These are an alarm. The green ones there are okay. Or we can look at what's called the state. The state puts more power to you. The state allows you to have your own icons that have your own representation of what might be happening on site. In this case, the legend at the side shows us when the tank levels, because for this demo, we've got pumps filling tanks. Is the tank low, very low, or is everything okay? Or is the pump refilling the tank? So we can see straight away that up in Sheffield, the tank is run dry. Down here near Bimington, it's also very low. We've got Beldborough is okay. And up near Swallow's Nest, we've got another tank. The pump is running, it's refilling. So without actually going any further in, the operator can scan their eyes across the board and see the state of every single site. Now, you can change those icons. You can make them look like anything that you want, give them your own colors. That is completely up to you to modify this to how you need it. You could do it, in this case, we've got tanks and pumps. You could have a legend that shows I'm monitoring solar panels. Are they charging the battery? Are they discharging out into the grid, or are they isolated from the grid? Or maybe they're in maintenance mode. It's up to you. You can build this to give operators an instantaneous view of their entire system and tuned to the way you want it. Now, we'll continue on because this is SCADA. We actually want to see what's going on at Sheffield because, as we can see, there's an alarm at Sheffield. So I can click on Sheffield here and it pops up information about Sheffield and some options as to what I might do. I could look at the SCADA page. I could look at the graph. I could look at the current online data. Because this is SCADA, we're going to go straight to the SCADA page. Now, the SCADA pages are built with Inkscape. It's vector graphics. Inkscape's a free download. You could download it tomorrow and start practicing how to work with this. This is all, because it's in vector graphics, it scales automatically. So it fits on my iPhone, it fits on my iPad, it fits on my Android tablet. It automatically scales very cleanly. Now we see here at Sheffield, the tank has run dry. A lot of information here. We've got data points that are analog values, such as the tank level. We've got it represented as a number. There is normally a bar here, but tanks run dry. We've got a pump currently showing that the pump is off and not pumping. We've got some start and stop buttons, so we can actually command the pump to restart. Not going to work at the moment because we've got a pump fault. So we've got digital contacts here as well. So we're showing analog values, we're showing digital values. There's a trend here showing it's actually been run dry for a while. We can write. So this here, the tank level currently is set at high of 17. I can actually say, no, really, I want to be able to fill this a bit higher. I'm going to make this 19 meters. So I can, from the control room, update values in the field. Now, in real life, it'd be really good if this was this easy. I'm going to fix the pump fault. I'm just going to click on it. For demo purposes, I'm allowed to do that, and that will fix the pump fault. Now, what it's doing actually is sending a command from where I'm sitting in KL at the moment. It's going out to the Azure cloud, and then that's going back down to an RTU that's sitting in the Netherlands. So I am that far away from my controller, but I still have control. I still have the view. We can see now that the tank is filling. So we've got digital contacts, we've got analog values, we've also got, this is a state change. This is 4 different colors, matching the colors we're using on the state display on the map, and state text here. So depending on the state of the site, we get text values. So there's lots of different ways to show the information to your operators so they can see what's going on. And we can see our bar starting to refill here, and we have a trend here. Now, this trend isn't, you'll see there's no time at the bottom. This is the last 20 values that we received from site for this particular point. This shows you, is our value rising? Is it falling? What's going on particular site? If we want to have a look at a time-based chart, there is actually a way to do that. This icon here allows me to pop up a chart for the site, and that will tell me time-based what's been going on with this particular site for a while. So here I've got the high and low limits on this particular trend. We've seen that it's been going up and down all day until we had a fault and everything dropped away to 0. And at the top, we can actually see when the pump was running. So we can see both digital and analog values in the chart. Now, if I want to work on this data, I've got a download option right here. I can download, it gives me an Excel file of all the data that's here. If I'm perhaps producing a report, I can select over here and I can download it as a JPEG image and drop it into my report. So for the operators, it just makes it easier for them to work with the data they've got at their fingertips. Now, the pump here, now when this pump goes on and off, I get notified by email. So if I've just received an email, it's actually come to my watch and to my phone. The data goes straight to me wherever I am to say the pump fault's actually been fixed. So this allows you to get that information out. Now, it comes to me by email, it can come to me by SMS. We're also going to enable WhatsApp. Certainly through a large part of Asia, WhatsApp is one of the most popular messaging apps. So that allows you to get the data out to the right person, whatever time of the day that they need to get that message. So this is our Sheffield site. You might have noticed that there was quite a number of other sites. If you want to go and build site by site by site, it can take quite a bit of time. So to help you with that, what we've done is allowed you to take a page like this and then template it. And by templating it, we list the points in the RTU that are linked to each of these points in the display, and then we store that mapping on the server and then apply that same map to every other RTU as you bring it into the system. So what that does, it means is that once that you have a template done, you can reproduce the next site, the next site, the next site, and publish all of your sites very, very quickly. So it really saves on your engineering time when you're trying to get a client's project up and running. Now, one of the really important things about that is that, and I'm going to go for my Dutch RTU that we're working with at the moment. This lists the sites that we have, and we have a version number. It is very important. It supports version control, which means in the future, perhaps I'm changing my pumps from a single pump on site to a duty standby pair. I can do a bulk edit and change my primary template to add the second pump. But then when I go to publish that, I can publish it to all the sites to some of the sites, update the version number, and I can see which sites are running which version of my templates or which different template. So it really helps you with the long-term support and maintenance of your partners and their sites, that you can have version control in there. And it's not just about templating, but making sure you've got the right template at each site. Now, with all this data, obviously it's very important that you can report on this data. We have a number of types of reports. I'm going to look at the custom report, because the custom report is really there for getting the best out of Stream and all the data that you've got. So in here, I can come in and I can select from one of my custom reports. Obviously, we have a specific one. And if I click the report button, it just gives me a quick view of what that report might look like. Yes, this is the right report. That's what I want to see. I can click download, and it's immediately going to give me a copy of that report in Excel, and I can open that up, and we will see that report, all the data ready for me to email, to send, to print off, to PDF, that already formatted for me. You've got you can put sign-off boxes into it. You can have your logos on there, and there's my report for the particular date range. So if you need to go back in time and reprint an old report, you can pick a different date range, print off your customized report. So for those of you who are skilled in Excel, this is going to be very, very powerful for a reporting tool. Another really cool feature of Stream that I would like to show you, if I come back to my SCADA page, this is the SCADA page for a single site. This is my pump tank set in Sheffield, but Sheffield, we remember, was part of a group. What I can do is I've actually got a location that wasn't listed on the map. It's my group summary. I decided not to put that on the map because it isn't an actual location. This is a group. This is getting data from different sites and putting them into one location, one SCADA page. So these are the 4 tanks from that particular region, and I can see all 4 tanks all at once on the one page. But more than that, I can do a server-side calculation. So this tank storage, now this is simply just the sum of the 4 levels. But rather than that value being calculated in any one of the RTUs, this is being calculated on the server side. So you can actually utilize data from and group data and bring it into a calculation on the server, not in any of the RTUs, something that we couldn't do previously in things like TView. So this means that Stream is going to bring a lot more power, certainly for those of you who are already using things like the T-boxes and TView, features that we just didn't have before. So there are 2 last features that I'd like to show, and one of them is something that you might not have ever thought of, but built into StreamWebscada is actually an asset management system. So under maintenance, we can actually declare different device types. So I've already gone in and assigned a pump type, and then for each particular site, we can go and put a pump into the site. So if I go to Sheffield, here we go, Sheffield. On Sheffield, I put in a lift pump. It's of a Speroni brand. It's a CS80 particular pump, but you can upload to the server various files about that pump. So I've actually uploaded a picture of one of these pumps and the pump curve for the pump. You could upload a photo of where that particular pump is on site. You could perhaps scan a copy of a report from somebody's last maintenance report, put it up here for others to see. You might have the manual for this particular device on site so that the operator in the field has access to any information about the assets at that site as well. So beyond just being a web SCADA, this now starts to become an asset management tool as well. And because I like to make my boss do things, I can actually schedule a service call. So I created a service call, and then I can go and schedule that service call. So see, Mark, you've been volunteered to be our service technician for the day. And you can go in, and once you've created a service call, you can select it and then plan it. So I've planned it for next week, Mark. You have to go out and do a vibration check on our pump at site. We can view this as a calendar form or for the month to see who's doing what at which sites, or an agenda. So on Thursday the 9th, between 7 a.m. and 12, Mark, you got to go and do a service call. Hope you're happy with that one. So StreamWebscada, it isn't just about the data you're getting from site, it's really helping you to manage your assets. And in this case, the asset's a pump. Your asset could be solar panels, it could be a tank, it could be an ATM machine. It's anything that you need to monitor remotely. Now, one last point. Because you are a systems integrators and you are going to be building this system for your customers and for your partners, this beautiful Avaro color system that we use might not fit your customers. So we allow you to do custom styling. So everything that you see here, the color schemes, the colors that are used on the icons, the logos that are used, you actually have the power to change all of that to suit yourself and to suit your customers. So when we come through this page, the login page, the sidebars, if you want to adjust it, you can change that to the color scheme that you want that best suits your partners. So this is about yourselves, this is about your partners. This allows you to get out there and provide a system to all of your customers to give them access to the data that they need to see. So thank you very much.